thank you as well. Ginny Thomas will meet with the January 6th committee sometime in the coming weeks. She is the wife, of course, of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. The committee has evidence she exchanged emails with Trump lawyer John Eastman about his strategies to overturn the 2020 election. The panel also has texts she sent to the former president's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, encouraging him not to concede the election to Joe Biden. You may remember these. In one message 2 days after the election, Thomas sent Meadows a conspiracy theory that was spreading on far-right websites. It said Biden, his family, and ballot fraud co-conspirators would be arrested and held on barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition. Thomas then wrote, quote, "I hope this is true." Earlier this month, the Washington Post obtained emails Thomas sent to lawmakers in Wisconsin calling on them to choose new electors. She sent nearly identical emails to lawmakers in Arizona days after the 2020 election. Her lawyer has said Thomas was concerned about the future of the country under President Biden's leadership, but nothing she did was illegal. This is from the lawyer, and she did not have any role or information about the January 6th attack on the Capitol. It is important to point out Clarence Thomas was the only justice to dissent when the Supreme Court ruled former President Trump could not withhold presidential records from the January 6th committee. So, Jonathan Lemire, those texts with Mark Meadows, people might remember they were reported out, expressing concern that they weren't doing enough at the White House to try to flip the election, and the wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice who was the only, as I said there, to dissent on that decision. Maybe a conflict of interest at the very least.
I would say, I mean, they claim, the Thomases, that they don't discuss their work lives at home.
Right.
Sure. But what we know is it's significant that she was in constant contact with the chief of staff, who was part of the scheme to overturn the elections, that she petitioned not one but two battleground states, trying to get them to go along with seating alternate electors, which again was a key part of the White House and Trump orbit's plan to flip the election. And of course, her husband's role there at the Supreme Court. This is a significant coup for the January 6th committee. They've wanted this for a while, Mike Barnicle. They wanted to get her testimony. Her lawyers were in negotiations. It seems now that she has agreed to do so, just as the committee returns. We know there's a hearing now scheduled for next week.
So what have you heard about the following? Why has not Mark Meadows been forced to appear before the January 6th committee?
They have asked him. They have obviously not compelled him to do just yet. He, of course, has got his own legal issues right now. The criminal referral has occurred. He has, someone close to the process told me in recent days, this is before the Ginny Thomas revelation, that he was tops their wish list. They feel like he's the key to a lot of this. So they still have some hopes, and perhaps we'll see if they take steps to make him show up. But they haven't just yet. They've also said, though, the hearing next week won't be the last. They anticipate there'll be a couple more between now and the election.
And we should remind people, the committee already has his text messages, reams of documents from him, but now they want to talk to him about all of that.